Hey Mama, my name is Erica and you have found the Spoiled Yogi YouTube page. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Erica and I am a yoga teacher who specializes in yoga for pregnant mamas and yoga for new moms. So if that's you, you're going to want to take a second, click down below, hit subscribe. Let me know how far along you are if you're pregnant because this video is just exactly for you. We are going to be talking about those poses that you might see a lot in your regular yoga class that you're going to need to modify a little bit once you have a baby bump going. So let's start talking about those poses that for me were really confusing when I first found out I was pregnant and I didn't know what to do when the teacher called them out instead. So there are two things I always tell mamas to keep in mind as they're trying to think of ways to modify during pregnancy. The first one is don't squish the baby, and the second one is to focus on your own intuition and your own body. So it doesn't matter if a pose is considered to be safe for pregnancy or not. If it doesn't feel good in your body, if it makes your gut feel this feeling of, ooh, maybe not, listen to that first. Don't go there if your body is giving you a signal that maybe it's not a good idea. It doesn't matter what the reason is, listen. So that being said, here's one of those poses that you need to modify. It's called Ardha Matsyendrasana, half floor to the fishes pose. And so it looks like this. One leg is folded in front of you, the other leg crosses over, and the knee is pointing up to the sky. In a normal yoga class, the way that usually this is taught is lift up through your chest, left arm lifts up, maybe hooks on to the outside of your opposite thigh, and then really twist in there. So one of the cues that I used to use before I taught prenatal yoga was think about wringing out a rag. That might be really good when you're not pregnant, but when you are pregnant, you don't want to be wringing anything out through the abdominals, right? So a really good modification for that is just to twist the other way. So instead of a closed twist where you're twisting toward this knee, you're just going to twist the other way. You can do whatever you need to with this other hand. You can wrap it around. You can hook it just like you do to the other side. But take the twist more in the upper body. So you'll feel your shoulders and the chest. Maybe this back shoulder is reaching back and it's a big broadness through the collarbones. I always caution moms though, belly button should stay forward. So that way the twist is coming through the upper back and you're not compressing the belly at all. Okay? Easy. Another twist that is confusing that you see a lot in class and you're like, I don't know what to do, is like this. So I'm gonna move my blanket out of the way. The one where you're in a lunge, so the back knee can be to the floor or lifted. It is taught both ways a lot, but I'm going to show you the back knee to the floor. And it's this one where you lift up into a lunge, and then a lot of times hands come together in front of the heart, and you just kind of really wedge your elbow to the outside of the knee, and then fingers come to the middle of the chest. Maybe you look up. This is not going to happen if you have a baby bump, okay? So here is another option. You just stay upright. You can keep your hands together in front of your heart, just like everybody else is. And then you can twist from here, right? And it doesn't matter which way you twist, because either way that you twist, you're not gonna squish the baby, okay? So this is a really good option for those upright postures. Another one that if you do a vinyasa yoga class, you see all the time, which can be super confusing, is those belly down positions. So belly on the floor, this could be your cobras, upward facing dog. Even though belly's not touching the floor, it can be too much of a back bend for some moms. And Shalambhasana, this one, and Dhanurasana or bow pose, where you grab onto the feet and lift up. Okay, so this whole category of poses, you're not going to be able to do. It's not even like you need to remember to modify it. it won't be physically possible once baby starts growing outward and is not protected by the pelvis anymore. So here's what you can do instead. There are lots of options for this. I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite. So my very, very favorite is simply this. So for those back bends like Dhanurasana that I just showed you, or Shalabhasana, instead of being on the ground, you're going to be on hands and knees. And so Shalabhasana could look like this. You just have to do one at a time. Lift your chin, open through the chest, point through the back leg. Make sure that the pinky toe of the back foot is pointing down toward the floor. So you're engaging all those same muscles in the back that you would if you were laying on your belly. And of course, then you have to do the other side. Good. Dhanurasana, bow pose, is a little bit of a deeper back bend. Same thing though. So you start with a Shalabhasana, and then maybe you can bend the back knee, reach around, either grab onto the foot or just fake it. It really doesn't matter. You're still opening in all of the same ways. If you can catch the foot, awesome. Kick the foot into the hand, lift the chest. And then of course, you gotta do both sides. Okay, easy. If you're taking a class that does a lot of sun salutations, make sure you check out my video on how to modify sun salutations during pregnancy, because there are even more options in that video that can help you to actually stay in the flow of the class while you're modifying for a growing belly. So that's really cool too. The other category of poses that you really want to avoid when you are further along in your pregnancy, for sure. First trimester, it's probably okay, but the deep abdominal work, for obvious reasons. So any pose where you're laying on your back and you're crunching, obviously you want to avoid. But the thing that I see very often that might be questionable for pregnant mamas is this move. So maybe there's a lot of downward facing dogs, which by the way, you're going to take with your feet a little bit wider apart than usual, and coming forward into plank, right? And downward facing dog, and forward to plank. You can still do this, but I recommend coming forward to plank, and knees come down to the floor. And then down dog, and then plank, right? Super easy. Another thing that you will probably want to avoid along the same lines is this one, where you lift a foot up, bring your knee in toward your chest. Some places call this Cheetah Pose, and then lift it back up. Probably not gonna be very comfortable for very long. So what I teach instead is come to hands and knees, bring your thumbs to touch, and bring that foot to the outside of the pinky instead of right in between the hands. And then you see there's room for baby. Okay? So those are some really quick, easy ways that you can modify your regular yoga practice for a growing baby. Don't forget to tell me below which one is your favorite modification. It may be something that I didn't mention here. Maybe I'll learn something new. So make sure to take a moment and let me know. And come back next week when I will tell you a few ways to use props for pregnancy yoga. Thank you so much, and namaste.